White. Nothing but endless white. No sound. No pain. Mina slowly opened her eyes. She wasn't inside the archive anymore. She stood alone in an endless ocean of light. Then, a little girl walked toward her. She was about 5 years old. "Do you remember me?" Mina frowned. "I—" Before she could answer, hundreds of children appeared. Then thousands. Teenagers, teachers, parents, old men, old women. Every face looked familiar. Every one of them smiled. Then they all spoke together. "Remember us." Suddenly, millions of memories exploded into Mina's mind. Birthdays, graduations, funerals, broken families, first loves, last words, experiments, pain, hope. Thousands of lives, thousands of voices, thousands of names. Mina screamed. Back inside the archive, Ryan caught her before she collapsed. Blood streamed from her nose. Her eyes opened, but they were no longer the same. She looked directly at Dr. Elias Carter before whispering a sentence she should never have known. "You never told Daniel about Subject Zero." Dr. Carter froze. Ryan stared at Mina. "How do you know that?" Mina slowly looked around the room. Her voice no longer sounded like only hers. "Because I remember everyone." Part 1. The girl who remembered everyone. The archive trembled. Golden light continued pouring from every memory tower. Thousands of glowing memory fragments spiraled through the chamber before disappearing into Mina. She screamed. Then, silence. Every light inside the archive suddenly went dark. Ryan caught Mina before she hit the floor. Mina, her body was ice cold. Blood slowly ran from her nose. Her breathing became shallow. Dr. Elias Carter knelt beside her. "She's still alive." Ryan looked at him desperately. "Then why isn't she waking up?" Before Dr. Carter could answer, Mina's eyes slowly opened. The blue glow inside her pupils was gone. Instead, tiny golden reflections flickered within her eyes, as if thousands of stars lived inside them. She slowly looked around the room. Her gaze stopped on Noah. Then she whispered, "Your first bicycle was blue." Noah frowned. "You fell into the river when you were 8. You never told your parents." Noah's face turned white. "I—" Ryan stared at him. "Is she right?" Noah slowly nodded. "I've never told anyone." Mina turned toward Ryan. "You still carry your mother's birthday letter." Ryan instinctively touched the inside pocket of his jacket. His heart stopped. Only Daniel Carter had known about that letter. No one else. Not even Noah. Ryan whispered, "How?" Mina answered quietly, "I remember." She slowly stood. Every movement looked strangely calm, almost unnatural. Dr. Carter carefully watched her. "What do you see?" Mina closed her eyes. For a moment, she wasn't inside the archive anymore. She stood inside another memory. A little girl laughed. Snow fell around her. A father lifted her into the air. The memory vanished. Another appeared. A teenage boy cried alone inside a hospital hallway. Another. A scientist secretly deleted research files. Another. A mother whispered goodbye to her sleeping son. Thousands. Millions. They came endlessly. Mina suddenly grabbed her head. "They won't stop." Ryan rushed toward her. "Mina." She stepped backward. "Don't touch me." Ryan froze. They're all talking. So many voices. So many lives. She covered her ears. But I can still hear them. Emily quietly appeared beside the glowing console. Only Mina seemed able to see her. Ryan looked confused. "What are you looking at?" Mina slowly smiled. "Emily." Ryan turned. There was no one there. Dr. Carter lowered his head. The transfer wasn't just memories. Ryan frowned. "What do you mean?" The old scientist answered softly. The archive connected her consciousness to every preserved identity. Emily looked at Mina. "You are the archive now." Mina stared back. "What happens if I die?" Emily remained silent. That silence answered everything. Suddenly, emergency alarms echoed again. A cold mechanical voice filled the chamber. "Warning. Archive core destroyed. Backup system offline." Ryan looked toward the central monitor. The golden memory towers were collapsing one after another. Entire servers shut down. The archive was dying. Noah checked the nearest terminal. The transfer erased every backup. Dr. Carter nodded. "There are no copies anymore." Ryan looked at Mina. "So, she's carrying everything?" Dr. Carter answered, "Every original memory, every subject, every experiment, every victim." Mina suddenly walked toward one of the shattered holographic screens. Her expression changed. She wasn't looking at the room anymore. She was watching another memory. Her own voice became distant. "I know this place." Ryan followed her. The screen showed a laboratory. Not the archive. Older. Smaller. The date appeared in the corner. October 12th. 20 years ago. Daniel Carter stood inside the laboratory. Across from him, a little boy, about 6 years old. Dr. Carter gasped. Ryan frowned. "Who is he?" Before anyone answered, Mina whispered, "Subject 0. The room became silent. Dr. Carter slowly stepped backward. His hands trembled. "That's impossible. We destroyed every record." Mina turned toward him. "You destroyed the files. But not the memories." She continued watching. Daniel knelt before the little boy. "I'm sorry." The child smiled. "It's okay. You said I'd help everyone." Daniel couldn't answer. Instead, he hugged the boy. For the last time. The memory ended. Ryan looked at Dr. Carter.
"You knew."
The old scientist closed his eyes. "Yes, you lied to us. For 19 years. Before anyone could speak again, a violent explosion shook the entire facility. Dust crashed from the ceiling. Emergency lights turned blood red. Noah looked toward the surveillance system, the outer security gates. "They've been breached." Ryan ran to the monitor. His face fell. Hundreds of armed security troops wearing ASTER insignias were flooding into the underground complex. Behind them, the director calmly walked through the smoke. He no longer looked like a man trying to protect a project. He looked like a man ready to burn everything down. He stopped beneath one of the security cameras, then looked directly into it. Directly at Mina. He smiled, then quietly said, "If I can't erase the memories, I'll erase the girl who carries them." The camera feed suddenly went black. Part 2, Subject 0. Red emergency lights washed over the archive. The entire underground facility shook violently. Pieces of concrete crashed onto the floor as explosions echoed through the tunnels. Ryan stared at the dark security monitor. The director is coming. Noah checked the remaining surveillance cameras. There are over 200 Aster security soldiers. They've already taken the West Corridor. Dr. Elias Carter whispered. They're sealing every exit. Mina remained perfectly still. She wasn't listening to the alarms. She was listening to something else. Thousands of voices. Thousands of memories. Suddenly, she looked toward an empty wall. They're hiding there. Ryan frowned. What? Mina pointed. 3 security officers. Behind the maintenance tunnel. They're waiting for us. Noah immediately opened the building blueprint. His eyes widened. There is a maintenance tunnel, but it doesn't appear on any modern map. Ryan looked at Mina. How did you know? She answered softly. One of the engineers built it. I remember. Dr. Carter slowly stepped closer. Mina, when the transfer happened, what exactly did you receive? She looked at him. I don't only remember events. I remember feelings. I remember fear. I remember love. I remember everyone's last moments. Silence filled the room. Ryan quietly lowered his head. Suddenly, another memory flooded Mina's mind. She gasped. Ryan caught her. What happened? Her breathing became uneven. I know where Subject 0 is. Everyone froze. Dr. Carter's face lost all color. That's impossible. He died. Mina slowly shook her head. No. He disappeared. There's a difference. The archive projected another holographic memory. This one was older, nearly 20 years old. Daniel Carter stood inside a laboratory. Beside him, the same 6-year-old boy, Subject 0. Daniel looked directly into the security camera. If you're seeing this, I've already failed. The little boy squeezed Daniel's hand. Will they come for me? Daniel smiled sadly. They'll never find you. The recording suddenly skipped forward. The laboratory doors burst open. The director entered. 20 years younger. Already wearing the same black suit. Already smiling. You can't hide him forever. Daniel stepped in front of the child. I already did. The director frowned. What? Daniel quietly answered. I erased him. Ryan stared at the recording. What does that mean? Dr. Carter whispered. He deleted every official record. No identity. No fingerprints. No DNA. No photographs. The world forgot Subject 0. The hologram suddenly zoomed toward the little boy's face. Mina's breathing stopped. She recognized him. She slowly turned toward Dr. Carter. You lied. The old scientist closed his eyes. I know. You knew who he became. Tears rolled down Dr. Carter's face. I was trying to protect him. Ryan stepped closer. Protect who? Before Dr. Carter could answer, the entire room went silent. Mina whispered the name. Lucas. Ryan's eyes widened. Mina nodded slowly. Lucas Kane was Subject 0. Noah immediately shook his head. That's impossible. Lucas is only 19. Dr. Carter looked at him. Officially, silence. Then he continued. Project ASTER changed biological development. Subject 0 aged differently. Ryan stared in disbelief. So Lucas has been inside this project since childhood? Dr. Carter nodded. He was the very first, the only child Daniel couldn't save. Another explosion rocked the archive. Emergency power failed again. Only dim backup lights remained. Noah shouted, "The security teams are inside the main tunnel." Ryan pulled everyone toward the maintenance passage. "We have to move." But Mina didn't move. She stood frozen. Listening, Emily appeared beside her again. This time, she looked frightened. "Mina!" "We're too late." Mina looked at her. "What do you mean?" Emily slowly pointed upward. "The director isn't here for you." Ryan couldn't hear Emily. "What is she saying?" Mina answered without looking away. "He's after something else." Suddenly, every holographic screen inside the archive switched on. The director appeared on all of them. He smiled calmly. "I expected you to discover Subject Zero, but you're still asking the wrong question." Ryan shouted, "What do you want?" The director ignored him. He looked only at Mina. "You believe Lucas was the first subject." He smiled again. "He wasn't." Complete silence. Dr. Carter whispered. The director slowly nodded. There was someone before him. Mina felt her heart stop. Emily looked down, almost ashamed. The director leaned closer to the camera. Then spoke the sentence that shattered everything they believed. Subject Zero was never a child. Subject Zero was Daniel Carter. The transmission ended. No one spoke. No one moved. Ryan looked at Dr. Carter. The old scientist slowly sank to his knees. Without saying a word, he confirmed it. Part 3, the first subject. The archive fell silent. No alarms. No voices. Only the director's final words echoed through everyone's mind. Subject Zero was Daniel Carter. Ryan slowly stepped backward. "No! That isn't possible." He created Project ASTER. He wasn't its first victim. Dr. Elias Carter lowered his head. His shoulders trembled. He quietly whispered, "He was." Mina stared at him. "You knew?" Dr. Carter nodded. "I promised Daniel I would never tell anyone." Ryan shouted, "Why?" The old scientist looked toward the collapsing archive. "Because if the director ever discovered the truth, Daniel's sacrifice would have meant nothing." The remaining holographic servers suddenly came alive. One final recording appeared. Unlike the others, this one had never been opened. A warning flashed. Private file. Authorized by Daniel Carter. The recording began. Daniel looked much younger. He wore a hospital gown instead of a lab coat. Medical sensors covered his chest. He smiled weakly. "If you're watching this, then Mina survived." He closed his eyes for a moment. Daniel continued. "People believe Project ASTER began with children. They're wrong. It began with me." Ryan stood frozen. Daniel slowly rolled up his sleeve. A burned identification mark appeared. Subject 00. "My father believed memories could cure trauma. He tested the first prototype on me. It worked. For 6 minutes. Daniel's smile disappeared. "When I woke up, I remembered lives that weren't mine." The room became silent. Daniel looked directly into the camera. "I spent years wondering which memories belonged to me and which belonged to someone else. That confusion created the director." Ryan frowned. "What?" Dr. Carter whispered, "No." Daniel continued. The director isn't another man. He never was. Everyone stopped breathing. Daniel spoke softly. The director is the personality created when the experiment damaged my mind. He remembers everything I wanted to forget. He became stronger every time I erased another memory. Mina felt the room spinning. So, the director is you. Daniel nodded. Part of me. The part that believed people should forget pain, even if it cost them their identity. Suddenly, a slow clap echoed through the archive. Everyone turned. The director stepped out of the darkness. This time, he wasn't hiding. He looked almost identical to Daniel. The same eyes. The same smile. Only colder. You finally understand. Ryan raised his weapon. You've been Daniel all along? The director smiled. No. I'm what's left. He slowly walked toward the shattered archive. When Daniel created Genesis, he thought he could destroy me. He failed. He buried me. But buried memories always return. Emily suddenly appeared beside Mina. Only Mina could see her. She whispered, "He isn't lying." Mina looked at her. "You knew?" Emily nodded sadly. "I was Daniel's daughter. I watched him fight himself every day." The director stopped only a few feet away. "Mina, you now carry every memory. You know what pain really looks like." He extended his hand. "Give them back. Erase the archive inside you. End everyone's suffering." Ryan immediately stepped in front of Mina. The director sighed. "I expected that." He pressed a small remote hidden in his sleeve. Deep beneath the floor, a massive vibration shook the facility. Noah checked the nearest console. His face turned pale. "Oh no." Ryan turned. "What happened?" Noah whispered. He activated the self-destruct sequence. Every remaining monitor flashed red. Core meltdown. 15 minutes remaining. The entire underground complex began collapsing. Support pillars cracked. Memory towers shattered. Fire spread through the tunnels. Dr. Carter looked around. If the core explodes, the entire mountain collapses. Ryan grabbed Mina's arm. "We have to leave." But Mina didn't move. She stared at the director. "You never wanted the archive." The director smiled. "No. I wanted you." He slowly pointed toward Mina's chest. Every original memory now exists inside one human brain. If you die, history dies with you. Emily suddenly shouted, "Mina!" The director moved with impossible speed. Before Ryan could react, he drove a concealed blade into the memory core hanging around Mina's neck. The crystal shattered. Golden light erupted across the room. Every memory inside Mina became visible. Millions of glowing fragments exploded into the air. Children laughing, families crying, subjects screaming. The entire archive filled with floating memories. The director smiled. Perfect. He reached toward the golden storm. "I'll take them back." Suddenly, Lucas burst through the collapsing doorway. Covered in blood, barely able to stand. He looked at the director, then smiled. "You forgot one thing." The director frowned. Lucas raised a small detonator. The emergency reactor doesn't only destroy the archive. He pressed the button. A deafening explosion tore through the lower levels. The entire underground complex began collapsing. The director's confident smile disappeared for the first time. Lucas looked at Mina. His final words echoed through the chaos. Run! The ceiling collapsed between them. Everything disappeared beneath dust, fire, and blinding white light, ending the last promise. Dust filled the collapsing tunnel. The explosion Lucas triggered ripped through the lower reactor. Concrete cracked, steel beams twisted. The entire ASTER facility began collapsing into itself. Ryan grabbed Mina's arm. We have to go. But Mina couldn't move. Millions of glowing memories still floated around her like tiny stars. Every voice, every life, every secret. She could hear them all. Through the thick smoke, Lucas slowly stood up. Barely. Blood covered his jacket. His breathing was weak, yet he smiled. You made it. Ryan rushed toward him. We're getting you out. Lucas quietly shook his head. He looked behind him. The director was trapped beneath a collapsed steel support. Still alive. Still reaching toward Mina. His hands stretched through the dust. You can't escape your memories. Mina slowly walked toward him. Ryan tried to stop her. Mina, she gently pulled away. When she reached the director, she knelt beside him. For the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. Not anger, not hatred, fear. The director whispered, I only wanted the pain to stop. Mina looked at him quietly. I remember. She remembered Daniel's childhood, his experiments, his loneliness, his broken mind. She remembered everything, including the pain that had created the director. Tears rolled down her face. You were never born evil. You were born hurting. The director looked at her in silence. Then, for the first time in decades, he smiled without cruelty, without manipulation, just sadness. I'm tired. Mina gently took his hand. So is Daniel. The director slowly closed his eyes. I couldn't save him. Mina whispered, You still can. The collapsing ceiling groaned above them. Emily suddenly appeared beside Mina. Only Mina could see her. She smiled softly. It's over. Mina looked at her. What happens now? Emily glanced at the floating memories surrounding them. They finally get to go home. One by one, the golden memory fragments began leaving Mina's body. They floated upward like thousands of fireflies, passing through the broken ceiling, disappearing into the morning sky. Each memory returned to its rightful owner. Across the city, former subjects suddenly stopped walking. Parents remembered children they had forgotten. Teachers recognized students whose names had vanished from their minds. Brothers embraced sisters they thought they had lost forever. The truth was returning, back inside the collapsing archive. The director looked up at the golden light. A single tear rolled down his face. He whispered one final sentence. Thank you. Then his hand fell still. The director was gone. And with him, the darkest chapter of Project ASTER finally ended. Ryan helped Lucas to his feet. Together, Ryan, Mina, Noah, Dr. Carter, and Lucas escaped through the emergency tunnel just seconds before the entire underground facility collapsed forever. As the sun rose over Westbridge High, students gathered outside, confused but alive. No one remembered the lies anymore. Only the truth. Mina looked at the silver key still resting in her hand. Its blue light had disappeared. Its purpose was complete. She smiled through tears. We're finally free. Ryan smiled back. He looked toward the rising sun. We finally get to live. The camera slowly pulled back. The ruins of the Astor facility disappeared beneath the morning light. One final caption appeared on screen. Some memories should never be erased.